Oh well, and that was, and you don't have to worry about hot boxes or anything anymore. Which is
No, well, they still have screw journals and things there, but they have hot box detectors now because they've got rid of everybody that was at Station Star. Well, actually, one morning down when I was driving to Pitchy Ritchie, because I had to go back and do my steam ticket. I was in the first all diesel school, so I did my steam ticket and my steam reciprocating driver's ticket as well, which is still current, believe it or not, until 2024. But we were down here one morning there lighting up, and a train came through from Dry Creek going to Perth, and you could hear this thing coming from bloody miles away there, squawking its head off right there. So I got onto the train controls, Gary Reynolds at the time, old Gazza. Anyway, and I said, "Oh, listen, you've got a bloody screw journal here on one of your wagons about halfway down the train." He said, "Thanks, Kev. We'll get onto it, then we'll get the guys out at around at Spencer Junction to have a look at it." And so, got a telephone call back later on. Yeah, we put it off. Thanks for the information, but they've lost that now because there's nobody out there. So they've got to put these automatic boxes in there to detect it.
And did they lose, like, in Victoria? I know when I go back there, I'm still pleased to see there's a lot of station staff, station attendants. I know all the signal boxes. There's still a couple of signal boxes that operate around Melbourne in certain areas, where they've got spray sightings. But in Adelaide, it's all pretty much changed. Hey, it's all.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There's no passenger trains in Adelaide. Well, only the suburban network. As far as country passengers are concerned, there's not a train here that runs. You can't get the train anywhere. So it's really, really heartbreaking, actually.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking, mate. I mean, I've been out of the job, but I'm 69. I guess we're all pretty similar age,
Yeah, I'm 68, yep.
Yeah, see, young fella.
Yeah, but I joined the 17, see?
I joined when I was 17 because I got as I tell everyone on the thing, sorry now, but the new viewer, I left school, was terrible at school, like nothing was dumb. I just didn't want to do it. I hated it.
Yeah, I know, bored. Yeah.
Always in trouble, failing here and there. I went and got a job at Myers through my dad, my wonderful dad, got me a job at Myers because he knew the CEO of Myers, so I was a store boy up on the 9th floor. And only lasted 6 months because Bernard Shop, which is a big novelty store in Burke Street, I think it's Burke Street, I bought some stink bombs and thought that'd be hilarious to let them off in the main cafeteria. Well, it wasn't.
You're looking for a new job, were you?
Yeah, my train driver. It was funny, mate. I went up to the Spencer Street bullshit council, that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Got a job, they even said, "What was your last job, Myers? Why'd you leave? Got sacked." Okay, okay, start next week.
That's great.
But
that's what they were too one time. You used to get a bonus of $25.
Mate, well, I had a few guys. I love the job. I always had a fascination for trying to right, and when that opportunity came up, all I went, I'm always wanted to get on the logos, and that's it. I loved it. I loved every bit of it, and still do.
Well, the biggest and best change to our training was instead of learning by rote, and of course when you first started in the railways, you had to go to the Railways Institute, right, to do all your studies. And admittedly, I did the first half of my safe working by correspondence, and then they held a full-time school. In other words, the railways paid the institute to teach us right there on a full-time basis. And we all got paid passive time for that, which wasn't terribly bright. But anyway, so I did my second half of the safe working, and also the training engineman's preliminary mechanical. Then, when it came time for the fireman's mechanical to get rated to go on the main line, that was all voluntary, all attend lectures, which they used to run at various times during various days of the week. Then the Westinghouse air brake was the same again. And then the engine papers there, I did all of those, and I actually finished those in August 1972, which sort of put me there. I was still only 18, and they didn't know what to do with me. Because won't be a driver. I wasn't 21. So they stuck me in the cannonball link, and I was probably one of the longest serving qualified person to ever be in the cannonball link. I was certainly the youngest ever to go into it. So I mean, and I worked with it. Now the old boys at Works team were the ones that you really, really, really got good stories out of. I mean, they used to make your side split. Some of them there. Oh, Frankie Walker was as dry as dust, and but the stories he told, man, absolutely fantastic. But I mean. Yeah, no, they had real experience. And my regular mate was a bloke by the name of Ted Barnes, and I was with Ted for over 3 years. Now, he was a driver trainer, right? And so normally you would go with Ted there for about 6 months and then go on the shunt engine driving. But because of my age, I spent, 3 years with him there. I spent 11 years in the cannonball link, believe it or not.
Wow. Well, I remember you at the cannonball because for those people who don't know or listen, the cannonball link was termed, like in Melbourne, it was called the Big Wheel link, or the Big Wheel on steam engine, which we say was a fast running track. So it was just all fast running trains that you were on. That's what they call cannonball link.
Yeah, that's right.
Country crews laughed at because most of the time you're going up through the hills.
Yeah, well, that's right. You're only going slow, but you're on the triple headers coming back from Tail Bend. You're on all the jets. All the high-speed stuff and all the high-power stuff. So you were getting mileage allowance, you were getting horsepower allowance, you were getting tonnage allowance, which sort of made everyone else a bit green with you. You know, they weren't very happy with you. With the cannonball link, elitist bastards. Sorry, but that's what they used to say. You know, but I was very proud to be in the cannonball link. You know, and I always did the right thing by it.
Well, you did all your rules really early because you had that option. You could go do it, right? So you did that right. And once you do that, well, then you're already ahead of people. A lot of folks they couldn't be bothered. They just sat back and did it.
When they were so desperate for someone, they ran a full-time school. I've got a little story for you to tell you about my stupidity in this regard, right? Being qualified there has its bloody advantages, right? Pay-wise, you're getting paid more than anyone else. You're on a higher rate for the Express Link, right? But I was getting engaged, and I'd arranged this about 3 months before the actual weekend of the party, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, the roster officer said, yep, no, it's your weekend off anyway, so you're all right. We don't have to do anything. You can just go ahead and plan it. So that's all right. So I do that, and we've hired the tennis club. Actually, the same one that Leighton Hewitt used to go to, the old Seaside Tennis Club. So anyway, I've got 150 guests. I paid for all the booze and everything else there. And at 5:45, the phone rings. And it's Ken Newman, the running shift foreman. And he says to me, you got to come to work. I said, hey, hang on. I'm getting engaged tonight. And he says, well, do you think I'm going to tell 500 passengers standing on platform 11 in Adelaide there that they can all go home instead of to Melbourne because you're going to a party? And I said, well, isn't there someone else? He said, now, you're a smart young fellow. He said, you wanted to be qualified to be in this bloody link. He said, there's no one else qualified, so you're doing it. He was tough, all right. I worked with him when he was on the track, believe it or not. He wasn't too bad as an engineman. But anyway, I rang my girlfriend and I said to her at the time, I said, well, Suze, I've got to go to work.
Oh, God.
And she said, you go to work tonight and you can marry the bloody railway. That's exactly what she said. And she was as good as her word because I went to work and we never got married.
Wow. Okay.
Get the first tabs on you and second and third. And if there's anything left over, you might have a social life. It was pretty skinny.
Kenny Newman, he was a bit of a tough old dogger. He was exactly what you just said then. His way or, no way, mate. That was him.
Well, I don't really know whether I should say this on air. You might have to edit it out. But
yeah,
the thing is that you can, all right. Well, the thing being, of course, was that Lance Bewley, you remember old Arab?
Oh, yes, Lance, yeah.
Yeah, well, I worked with Lance there a couple of times too when Ted was on holidays. And Brian Newport and other enginemen too. Well, Lance and Ken Newman were both Freemasons.
Right.
Okay, so I get invited, because I'm in the cannonball link, to go and join the Freemasons. Well, I knock him back. I said, well, no, I really haven't got enough time to spare time in my own life now there to worry about going and joining that. And I was too young anyway, so to worry about those sort of things at the time. Well, I think they took a pretty dim view of me saying no. Yeah, so I don't know whether that contributed to my engagements to demise or not. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, look, it's it's funny, mate. Like, I remember a story of what's his name? You just your foreman's name. You just said. Ken Newman. Yeah, I was sitting in the coffee house one day in the lunchroom, and he came in the door, and I was sitting there, and he went, he goes, is this your tucker box? Like it was my bag, the tucker box. We tell people it's what we used overnight stays when we were away.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Threw it across the room, like launched it across 2 tables, knocked everything flying, and he said, "You left it here last night." I'm thinking, why couldn't you have just put it down and given it to me? But that was Ken Newman, so I went back and I gave it to him. I give it to him in the office. I just said a few kind words to him.
Just straighten him out a little bit, but he needed it.
Yeah, he did. He was a little stroppy times, but it was all they made. All the guys were, they were all good guys.
Yeah, no, I worked with some very, very good men over the years, but they were always the old senior drivers, you know, and they had so much to teach you, you know. Oh, Ted knew you were going to make a mistake a mile before you did. You know, and he said, no, not to back here because, and he'd tell you because of the grading of the track. And he said, you know, you'll run up a bit, you'll go down a bit, you'll do this. And he said, and if you do it in this notch here, you won't need to put any brakes on. You know, and so you're using the internal dynamics of the train to actually, to minimise your, you know, the problems that you're having. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. And you're right. That was the good part about the job. I guess things a little different. Everyone's qualified, everyone's drivers and all that sort of thing. So, it's all changed quite a bit. But
no, it's all gone ahead. There's no doubt about that. The way they do the training now and the rest of it, there's miles in front of the old institute.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, mate. And then things need to change. And we had a bit of a discussion on the last interview with Bob about advancing to eventually maybe one day in the future it'll be automatic training, which we hope doesn't sort of happen too quickly. There's a lot of research to be done before that. But Kev, we've come to our time, but we're definitely 100% going to talk to you again because there's so much more we want to talk to you about your little railway and get some video of that.
Yeah, well, there's too much to talk about. That's the trouble. We could be here in a week's time and still going over news stories.
That's what Doug's noticed. He goes, "Oh, geez, when you guys start talking, mate,
can't get a word in edgeways. You get into that goofy house and that's the end of you."
Yeah, and it's like, have you guys forgotten that I exist?
Yeah, we did, mate. Sorry, you're a passenger. You're a passenger back in the cars, mate.
Yep, good one.
Well, look, we've got to go, but hey, Kev, honestly, mate, I can't wait to actually see you. It's been...
Oh, look, I'd love to see you too. Bring any of the kids with you there if you can.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, they'd love to see you.
You're a young fella, particularly if he likes trains, you'll love it here. So,
he would love it. So, look, we really do appreciate you coming on, mate, and we are going to talk again. And, just take care of yourself, mate, and stay well and healthy and keep doing what you're doing.
Okie dokie. Happy editing. See ya.
See ya.
See you, buddy. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. So everybody, I want to thank you guys for appearing on Tales from the Rails, and we'll see you next week for the next episode.